Hello and welcome everyone to episode number 40 at the Indie Football Podcast. The last episode was all about our journey, our experiences, the people we have met. And in this episode, we are looking forward to further expand, further embark on that journey. And for that, I think it's a fitting way to start off with yet another with another Liverpool fan who currently stays in Bangladesh, which is something that is one of our firsts in indie football podcasts. I don't think we have had anyone join us from Bangladesh before this, which is yet another country where football is followed very fervently. Even the Bangladesh cricket team, as much as their performances are not at par with other Asian counterparts, but they are known for their fans. So thank you, Parthiv, for doing this, for taking the time out. Just tell us how are you feeling in this Sunday morning?
First of all, thank you for bringing me here. It's a great pleasure. I've been listening to a lot of your podcasts, so it's like great to be here. Firstly, second of all, Sunday morning is good because we didn't lose last night. The criteria
Yeah,
now is not winning trophies, but not losing Premier League games.
Uh,
So yeah, pretty happy we didn't
so
lose.
yeah, I mean, Anukarsh sir, the going hasn't really been easy for you over the last 2 months now as a Liverpool fan.
yeah, such has been the standard that not losing is now, considered an achievement at this point.
Yeah,
And honestly, I'm sure Parthiv can totally empathize with how shitty this season has been. And for someone who has been doing so well in the podcasting industry himself, and has been regular at inviting me also for his podcasts, though I was a bit busy during the World Cup, but he was kind enough to host shows and invite me over. And Partha has been doing a great job when it comes to doing his own podcasts and having those live streams and being very regular at creating content. So, Partha, for someone like you, who we are also trying to create content here, and we
yeah,
are super happy to have you here, mate. And you are this is the first episode after the 1 year anniversary. So yeah, it's
yeah.
nice to have you here, man. And it's always good to share your sadness once in a while. And I'm happy that we could have you over so that we could talk about how bad the season has been, how in utter turmoil we find ourselves in, and how much we both wanted the season to stop as soon as the Queen died.
So we'll definitely come back to the current season and whatever Liverpool has been enduring over the past few months. But I'd like Parthiv to just spread a bit more light on, how his journey has been as a Liverpool fan, how it all started, and just tell me a bit about your association with football over the years.
So basically, this thing is a little bit of a family thing. My grandfather was a football player. Well, he wasn't a
Yeah,
very professional player, but he used to play for for our club back in our town. So they used to go to play in Nepal and all. And he was a goalkeeper. So growing up, somewhere or the other, I've had some kind of like talks with him. And whenever stuff came about and what are the clubs playing, it always used to come that Liverpool is playing. Liverpool is playing. Liverpool is playing.
yeah,
Then when I got around 13 or sorry, when I got around 11 years old, in Bengal there's something called a Koite festival. It's a Chhat
yeah,
ceremony.
absolutely. Yeah, the
So
sacred thread
in
ceremony.
exactly, so in that I got a PS3 as a gift. So the
Yeah.
first
Oh,
game I played was FIFA 14, and at that
oh,
Oh,
time my
nice.
knowledge was very limited to Manchester United, Wayne Rooney. Now, I knew there was one guy who was Wayne Rooney, was playing for Red Club, or was it Arsenal or was it United? I was confused.
and handled
Those are
by
the very
this
first
guy
thing.
over here.
Yes, at that time, Sir Alex. So
Yeah,
after that, eventually, like there was some kind of inclination towards football, but it wasn't really, like completely as in towards Liverpool. But I used to follow it like in a little bit of a sense that what's happening, what's not. But then as I got into FIFA a lot more, FIFA 14, 15, 16, as it went down, football became a day thing for me. And I used to, when I was in India for like around 10, 11 years, I used to play cricket at the state level for my district. So
oh, wow.
from
Oh,
that,
nice.
going to football completely was a very different thing. That what's happening. But of course, I wasn't a very good football player. So around 17, 18, that time I started breaking football down, looking at it, what's happening, the strategies, the way these guys play. I mean, you see a lot of people on Twitter on how they break it down. I used to follow
Yeah.
them and I used to like do the same thing myself. Like, can I do it? Is it possible? So from that and the thing when Liverpool started mostly in the 16, 17 era, when Klopp came in. The moment Klopp came in, a lot of people were inclined to watch this red team. And
Absolutely.
one of my first games as a Liverpool supporter was also a game where Mohamed Salah played. So I was just
Yeah.
watching and there was this guy whose name was Salah. It was pretty funny in Bengali because it's a slang word. So on one side you have a guy
Yeah.
called Salah, on the other side you have a guy called Mane, and both are Bengali words. And they were just
Yeah.
running it down, playing. So that's when I got intrigued. And the first game it was the 17-18 start of the season. We drew it 3-3.
Watford.
So yeah, Watford 3-3. Salah scored a game. Salah scored a goal. So I
All three
was
of the
like,
forwards
yeah,
scored actually in that match. Mane, Firmino, and Salah, as much as I remember.
the front three. So
Yeah.
that's where it started. And then that season Salah was in top form. So Salah, that automatically came in. And
Yeah.
for me, very honestly, Premier League, like I used to watch Premier League because of mainly one player or two players. One of them was Thibaut Courtois, and
Yeah.
Courtois because in FIFA, Courtois was the OG. You cannot beat him.
Yeah.
Hmm. Absolutely.
At that time, Courtois was the OG. So he used to be my ultimate guy. So be like, कि कैसा खेलता है, देखते हैं इसको. So that's why I was like always, मतलब, watching him. So वहाँ से the whole thing came out about like supporting Liverpool and all that.
Oh,
And
wow.
like, especially when we were on the verge of like when talks to sign Courtois instead of Carriers, for Alison Becker, I was very happy. One of my favorites is joining the club I support. So
Hmm.
वहाँ से
Yeah.
the whole Liverpool thing started, and after that it was like it's a forward journey.
Yeah,
Very, very
absolutely.
true.
I think it's a very strong backstory attached to it. Anukarsh sir, in these 12 months now, more than 12 months of various people coming in, and when we ask them about their journey of how they started off following football, and it's either one of the two things where they grow an affinity towards a particular team by watching them, or ever since there is a certain amount of family tradition, like Parthiv mentioned, his grandfather playing, associating with the color red and associating with certain players, Liverpool. I think it's something that gets molded into you at a very young age, and then you just become a part of it for the rest of your life.
Uh,
Absolutely. Also,
yeah.
one thing I'd like to add in this is that in Bangladesh,
Yeah, yeah,
especially the
please.
place I live in,
Yeah,
football is a religion. They
yeah,
might
Hmm.
not know football that much, but see, as Bengalis are always inclined towards football. Mohun Bagan
absolutely.
versus East Bengal is one of the biggest derbies in the world. It's not that much watched, but if you go to the stadium, you will see more fans than like El Clasico. I can guarantee that.
Yeah,
And more passionate
it's
fans as
almost
well.
like a war. Yeah,
Exactly. And in Bangladesh, people support football a lot in considerable to India because everybody knows people support Messi. They're huge Argentinian fans. You might have seen this in this World Cup time. A
Yeah,
lot
yeah,
of
yeah.
pictures are coming from Bangladesh. So that's
yeah,
also that also played a part that I went to Bangladesh like when I was 11, 12. तो वहां से इंटरेक्शन की कि भाई ये लोग देख रहे हैं क्या देख रहे हैं मेरे को भी
hmm,
देखना है
yeah. That
because when
curiosity
India
is there.
Bangladesh happened when India Bangladesh happened I used to get abused कि तेरी टीम चीटिंग की सो उसके अलावा भाई फुटबॉल देखते हैं, ये ज्यादा सेफ गेम है लोग एक्यूज नहीं करने वाला.
Right.
I Anuka sir, that's quite a story, right?
Yeah, definitely, man. Actually, I think that's like as I have reiterated this before also that the best part I like about the Agri Football podcast for me is these stories and how people who were not very much into the game got inclined into the beauty of the game slowly and steadily. And like hearing Pathir's story, it's actually pretty nice that as soon as he went into a different culture, all he could witness was football all over. And honestly, yeah, man, I mean, the World Cup was, as you pointed out, a very beautiful example of football being anywhere and everywhere where you find it. Because honestly, like, you could see images from all around the world. You didn't even know places where football was that popular, for that matter. And
Yeah.
with time, that made you realize that honestly, there's a lot of awareness around the game. There's a lot of love around the game. The only thing that's missing is infrastructure around the game at the moment in the country.
Yeah.
Because honestly, the fans are there, and although the ISL audiences have been declining over the last from the first season, there's a reason, and that I think is the quality of football overall, which you people expect to be at a level which is definitely not up to the Premier League, but at a very good level. And that is something that as a country, as a nation, India needs to really look upon. Because at the moment, the AIF, that the plan that they have come out with, 2047, the goal they have,
Yeah.
what I feel is that if implemented well, the Indian football can go a long, long way. Because honestly, there's a lot of awareness. It's not that the game is dead. It's not like a game like netball where nobody is talking about it, or it's like
Yes,
people are
absolutely.
starting to get aware about it. People are trying to talk about it. It's becoming popular. Everyone follows it. Everyone talks about it. Everyone knows it. And it is something that I really think that has left an indelible mark on people ever since the World Cup, and ever since these big events like the Premier League have started getting broadcasted in India, much more so over the last 5-10 years. And I think it's high time that this every stuff, that everything related to football in India actually comes to fruition. Because honestly, the fandom is here. People like Parthiv, stories like
Yeah.
these define that people are there to watch it, talk about it, as we are here talking about it. And honestly, something that we really can embark upon, unlike Liverpool's football season at the moment.
Yeah, this is this is deeply
Hmm.
insightful in what we have been able to spread some light on
Yeah.
how a particular and I think it's true only for football currently that even though you belong from a geography that might not have traditionally achieved a lot in the professional arena of that sport, but still there's so much of craze, there's so much of fanfare, there's so much of an attachment to the game. But yeah, I mean, coming back to your to the club love interests for the two people in this episode other than me. Let's talk about Liverpool's form this season. Parthiv, what do you think? What's Klopp doing wrong, or where is Liverpool falling short consistently in this season?
See, one thing I'll tell you that when you are working professional, if you are working in a job, you cannot openly criticize your boss कि भाई इसने
Yeah,
खराब किया मेरी गलती नहीं है मैंने बोला था. You cannot do that.
yeah,
When Klopp was at a very bad stage, FSG backed him up. 2021, Klopp was 8 after 28 games. They
yeah,
backed him up. So, the thing is that Klopp knows he'll get the backing. For me, currently, we are just not technical enough. We don't look confident at times. Some of our players are just there for a vacation. And see, our midfield was based on the fact that we pressure, we track back,
hmm,
we go forward. Now it's either one of the two. Either you are pressing and tracking back, or you're going forward. जैसे कल का मैच, Budgeting had done a brilliant job. He was constantly
yeah,
coming back. He was pressing. For an 18-year-old guy who's younger than me, he did a lot more than I am doing at the age of 18, or I did at the age of 18. So
yeah,
he did a brilliant job. And when you have Keita and Thiago with him, it was a good pair. And we often forget how good Keita was because of his injuries.
Hmm.
yeah,
But that thing
yeah.
is always there.
That's
Now the
Absolutely.
thing is, now the previous midfield when you had Henderson, Fabinho, and Keita or Thiago in their prime, talking about last
yeah,
2-3 years, there was a lot more on the game that Van Dijk was in good form. He used to give long balls. Keita used to come back and go forward again. You had Fabinho doing a fabulous job. He was the anchor of the team. So that
Hmm.
thing, somewhere it's missing. People will tell you that डिफेंस काम नहीं कर रहा, अटैक अच्छा नहीं कर रहा, ये वो.
Hmm.
बट एट द एंड ऑफ द डे द मिडफील्ड इज रियली रियली बैड. इफ यू टेल
Yeah,
मी कि
I
जुट बेलिंगम
totally.
नहीं आने वाला, मत लाओ भाई, बट तीन अच्छे मिडफील्डर्स लाओ एटलीस्ट.
yeah. I think it's an
तीन अच्छे
integral
मिडफील्डर्स को
part
खेलना
of.
है.
Yeah, I think that's very well put. I think that's an integral part of where Liverpool has been falling short or has been falling behind the curve. And Anukarsh sir, I'm gonna ask you. I'm
Mhm.
gonna narrow it down to two people. Like, what are your thoughts on Pep Linders and how Harvey Elliott, one of I think he's the only guy who started all matches this season for Liverpool. He's young. He's been able to put the runs, and how these two people have influenced or in the next 3 months can influence Liverpool to sort of put up a resurgence of kind.
I mean, honestly, I would like to talk about Harvey Elliott, someone who might not have started all the games, but who has featured in all the games, as you mentioned, this season. Now, what has happened with Harvey Elliott is that last season he started off the season very, very well. When
Yeah,
Liverpool were, putting up a title charge, he got injured. He was very unlucky with that up in Liverpool versus Leeds United game. And since then, he came back after the injury was not the same. Was dropped for a while, rested or dropped, whatever you can say. This
yeah,
season, he began it well, and he was put in the lineup. He has been regularly playing the midfield. Was excellent against Man City. Has been smashed, slashed, praised on social media. The skeptics are out. The critics are saying going haywire all over him. What I feel is that he has done a decent job. He's still a teenager. He's doing well. Definitely, like I don't think you can expect a Pedri, Gavi level from every youngster in the world, honestly.
yeah,
But he has been doing very well, and I really think that he has been a very positive point this season for Liverpool. Having said that, I really feel that him being thrusted into the lineup when it's been a difficult season. We have seen Cody Gakpo coming in for Liverpool, who has really struggled in January because I don't even blame it on him. I just feel that the squad in itself is needs a lot of refreshing. It's not just the midfield. People are pointing out the midfield. I do agree with Partha that we need three midfielders at least. But I would say we need other reinforcements when it comes to the right back position also. I also feel that the center back position needs refreshing. Maybe one of Gomez or Matip could go and a good center half could come in, someone who could compete with say Virgil van Dijk or Ibrahima Konate, because at the moment I feel the squad overall needs a lot of refreshing, and a lot of players are above the age of 30, something that in sports we often start to see as the twilight of the years of a player. Players like Jordan
yeah,
Henderson, players like Fabinho are declining, and honestly, Offset Chamberlain definitely is one of them. So what I feel is that, like as good as Harvey Elliott is, we need to start him, but we don't need to start him this often, and we need to have proper good midfielders who can come in and can contribute, because at the end of the day, only money can solve Liverpool's issues. And talking about the money, another thing that can, that has influences Liverpool's assistant manager, Pep Linders. We as Liverpool fans were going all gaga about him at the start of the season. You and I had long discussions over his biography when it was near
yeah,
my
yes,
birthday too. And he
absolutely,
has been a very good assistant manager, I won't deny. But what I feel is that maybe his methods aren't working that well this season. Maybe sorry, maybe he has been found out at times, and it's high time that Liverpool really make changes at the structural level. That doesn't mean I am saying that we should fire Pep Linders, but the backroom staff with Julian Ward leaving and other members of the
yeah,
backroom staff leaving, Liverpool needs to make changes and make them quick. With the ownership also, they need to resolve the issues out, because I think the issues in the background are starting to affect what's happening
effect.
on the field. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely there are fair points made because no matter who you are and no matter what you have done in the past, if things are not working, currently there's definitely something, there is a lot left to ponder. So I was just opening the Premier League points table, and after 19 games, Liverpool have 29 points and are 10 points behind the fourth placed Man United. There's Tottenham at fifth, Brighton at sixth, Fulham at seventh, and Liverpool currently in the eighth position. So yeah, I mean that it's definitely grim looking as a Liverpool fan. So I thought to why not look forward into another tournament where just 12 months ago, Anukarsh sir and we were discussing about how Liverpool had the opportunity to pull off the quadruple, and the first match that Liverpool's gonna play in the Champions League is I think exactly a month later. Today's 22nd January. So and on 22nd February we play Real Madrid. I mean, the amount of Liverpool talks we have got, even I'm associating with Liverpool now as and I say we play Real Madrid, even though I'm a bit of a Real Madrid fan. But yeah, I mean, it's a big rivalry. It's a rivalry that's achieved a lot in the last, 3 to 4 years in the Champions League. Parthiv, what do you think? I mean, of course, one poor form in one particular tournament might on the other hand serve as extra motivation to do well against a team that has an history against you, right?
Do any of you watch cricket regularly?
Yeah,
Yeah, I
Doi
mean,
Payan is the
I'm a
encyclopedia of
big
cricket, man.
cricket
Honestly,
I'm
they
a big
Did
are.
cricket
you?
fan, man.
Then you would have surely watched Harris Raw versus Virat Kohli, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
Harris off. Yeah,
definitely.
absolutely.
Yeah, Harris Raw played brilliantly the entire tournament. But why did he
Yeah.
concede two sixes against Virat Kohli? The simple
Yeah,
answer
man,
to
at
that
that
is
time it was certain clutch.
form versus class.
Yeah,
Form
true.
versus class.
Yeah.
We are in good form, but that Madrid team, your Madrid team is a classy Madrid team. As
Yeah.
I was talking, that midfield which you have, Cruz,
Yeah.
Modric, Casemiro, that's Champions League royalty. You
Casemiro is
Yeah.
not
cannot,
there. Huh,
Yes, yeah,
I
I
mean,
mean,
previously,
huh,
given what they've been
previously
done,
in the
huh.
yeah.
final.
Yeah, yeah, huh.
That's Champions League royalty. See,
Absolutely.
why do Liverpool often have a bigger chance against other teams in the Champions League? Because we are Champions League royalty. Man City fans, Chelsea fans might disagree, but you are new people, you don't know history. Learn history and then come. So those guys, so that's why we have an
Yeah.
upper hand because we know how to handle the pressure. Why is
Yeah.
Anfield so scary? Because we'll sing Ale 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 till for the entire 90 minutes. We don't care. We can sing it.
Yeah.
It's
Even on the
that
phone
much.
when Liverpool is losing 3-0 against Brighton.
Yeah.
Exactly. Exactly.
That's just me.
That's very sad, bro. But yeah.
I know.
But
So
yeah, I
when you
mean,
have
that's a
a
beautiful point.
exactly when you have a team like that and you're facing another team which is like Champions League royalty at the very best, what else can you do? We didn't play a bad game. We played a brilliant game on the final. It wasn't meant for us. Also, one thing is when you're playing the final, you must have a Croatian player. Otherwise, you won't win. Past 15 years, it's a thing. And if
Yeah.
you go down the line 28 and 9, we defeated Madrid probably 5-0 on aggregate. Before
Four,
that,
yeah, yeah, four.
81, we defeated Madrid 1-0
Mhm.
at Paris. So, it's
Yeah.
a very close tie. But the form we are right in, I don't feel that we can pull off a two-legged tie. Probably one leg we can just draw or something. We cannot pull off a two-legged tie against Real Madrid because see, it's just not working
Fair
out for us
enough.
at the moment. It's just not working out for us. And as I said at the beginning, if you tell me that Parthiv, you're going to miss out on top six or you're going to miss out on top four, you're going to have to play Europa League next season, but you will have brilliant players or you will have good players next season who will improve your team. I'm hands down for that.
Yeah.
Forget European football if
True.
you have a good team. See,
Absolutely, man.
Klopp is a
That's a
man
fair
we
point.
trust. There is nobody else who can take the job and do better than Klopp. He's a stubborn
Absolutely.
man, but that stubbornness won us the six trophies which we have
Yeah.
at the fastest time recorded. So, this thing takes time. And we live in such a time where money dictates football. It's not only about skills, about tactics, it's money which dictates football. In a game like
Yeah.
this, in a situation like this, Anfield is a Anfield is still a fortress to play. Sorry to Man U fans, but Old Trafford isn't really a fortress anymore.
Yeah,
You get battered 4-0, man. Even in a worst day,
yeah.
we don't get battered 4-0. Hopefully. There's still Anfield tie upcoming. Hopefully.
But yeah, I think Anukarsh sir, Parthiv has hit the nail on its head, with this point where he speaks on how certain teams, their home team, the aura that Anfield and Liverpool has. But he speaks about the close rivalry between Real Madrid and Liverpool over the years. I did some digging up with the numbers. So in head-to-head, Liverpool has 3 wins in Champions League against Real, and Real has 5 wins. So that means before the final last year, that helped Real get their yet another Champions League trophy. Sorry, that's my grandmom calling me. We have got a calls scheduled every Sunday. But yeah, I mean, Liverpool has definitely over the past history has been able to challenge Real, and that's something that you and all Liverpool fans would be hoping they Klopp and his men can be able to replicate.
Yeah, definitely. As we reach the end of this episode, what I can just hope for is that Liverpool puts up a fight because honestly, something that has really upset me throughout the season. Partha, can you adjust your frame a bit, man? I will switch it out
Yeah,
maybe.
that's a
Yeah,
beautiful
yeah,
half cut
yeah.
we are getting for
Yeah,
Parthiv.
yeah. Anyway, we can use that as the cover. Anyway,
Yeah,
so thing is that honestly, what I feel is that Liverpool, for that matter, haven't shown a fight in a lot of games. Shown up that fight in a lot of games, and what I just want from the team is to show up a fight. And honestly, about the result, I would, for once, I'm a bit pessimistic regarding it. But again, like a
yeah,
man can hope, a man can desire, and all I'm desiring for is a Liverpool win, and that is it. That's all I want for Feb. And other than that, it's been a very dismal season. Uh, Something that has been frustrating from start to finish overall, and sometimes makes you like go to bed all sad and upset and pondering life at the moment. I just hope I
yeah.
don't have much more of those nights, and Liverpool can actually
I mean
go on
that
to do
yeah
well more on
that
a more regular basis.
That reminds me, this week in our college, I mean, I can't help it. I'm a big sucker to always put in some college reference of mine because what we talk over here is so relevant to what I'm being taught in college. So we were studying out fine fan rivalry and fan behavior towards a particular team, and they mentioned how every fan, a particular club's member fan, basically identifies or attaches their identity to that club, and we were asked to
Absolutely.
go through a survey where you mention your favorite team's name, and then we were asked questions like, if that team loses, it makes my day worse; if that team wins, it makes me feel more confident for the rest of the week. So this is
Yeah,
something
yeah.
that I have come to associate with Liverpool fans, especially Anukarsh sir, because I've known him for such a long time now, and Liverpool is really really his heartbeat. But I mean, last thing I thought, and Parthiv, if you did watch our last episode where we are doing our entire 1 year anniversary thing, so I did throw a googly to Anukar sir, and I asked him something. Of course, there's some part of our show which we write down the points before, but there are also parts of the show that I purposely keep unscripted. So I'm going to ask both of you a question. It's a two-part question. Since both of you are Liverpool fans, feel free to answer the same. Like there are two parts to this question, two answers. So you need to tell me who is the all-time highest scorer for Liverpool, and you also need to tell me how many goals he has scored
Iron Rush,
You wanna
in the
go
Champions
first?
League. In the Champions League.
360.
Sorry,
In the
sorry.
Oh,
Champions
Champions League.
In the Champions
Uh,
League. Yeah, my bad,
in the
my bad. In the
Champions
Champions
League,
League.
Mohamed Salah.
Mo Salah,
Yeah,
38 goals.
yeah, mom.
Uh,
Yeah, he's got around
38.
41
38
goals.
goals.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think the site that I saw showed
Yeah,
41, but
I
Parthi's
didn't
confidence has got me
count
shaken.
the hat trick.
Yeah,
I didn't count the hat trick.
yeah. But but yeah, I mean, with that note, where I think it's becoming quite a thing of me to just start and pop up certain number questions to Anukarsh sir. Maybe someday he comes and asks, takes an entire quiz on me to say, up to bol na tu, ab.
The days
But
of being your college
Okay,
senior,
just
the days, the old days.
if you're a Real
but yeah,
fan,
I mean,
Just
Yeah,
one question to you:
yeah.
which Real player has the most Champions League trophies?
Which
Champions League
Real player trophies?
had.
Yes, which Real Madrid player has the most Champions League
Sergio
trophies?
Ramos.
No, I don't think. I think it's that guy from the 50s who was known as the who was a contemporary of Alfredo De Stefano. I forget his name, but
Acha,
I think it was
okay.
it,
He
yes,
he
yes,
actually
I
had
got
six
that right.
PCL trophies. He had six
Yeah,
trophies.
because
It was either Del
I mean
Piero or
in
Del Stefano. I forgot it, but it was one of the two.
yeah, in that Real Madrid documentary that we have, that and it's a beautiful documentary because it's they compare two eras of Real at the same time and how they say these are two golden eras, and it was just beautifully made. I think it's slightly slow paced in the middle, but I think football fans like us would appreciate it because in the depths that it's been able to achieve. But yeah, I mean, last thing, Parthiv, thank you for
So
taking this
one,
time out. Thank you for providing beautiful insights, beautiful perspectives to football, and we look
same.
forward to hosting you. I hope you enjoyed your time with us.
Yeah, we had to
Same
terrific
man,
fun,
same. I
man,
just
and it
like
was
hope
great
like
having
one day
you,
you two
especially
will
having
join us.
Liverpool fans has always been my favorite. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, both of
definitely.
you just said
Like
at the
one day
same time.
join us at
Yeah, Parthiv, go ahead.
like one day join us at Sports Torco. It's our show. We usually
Absolutely, we
talk
look
in
forward
Bangla
to
and
it.
English, but any language is welcome. Yes, we
Thank you.
banter a lot in our group. We have this Facebook group called Torco or like Sports Adda. So we banter a lot, and most of us are
Yeah,
friends. So one day you'll be abusing a guy who was supporting Barcelona, and the next day you'll be hanging out, having a cup of tea with him. It's that good. It's all fine banter, but yes, we banter a lot. Sometimes people get hurt. So
yeah.
yeah, please join us one day.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah,
Before we sign off, I mean, Anukarsh sir, we have got many people, many guests to come over at our podcast, but this Parthiv guy is quite the character, right?
yeah, definitely, man. I mean, it's great to have someone who, is so passionate about the game. You can see in his energy, you can see how he has been talking about the game. And it's good, man. I think it's very much required for me, especially with Liverpool's form this season. अच्छी बात है गम बांटने के लिए कोई है. And honestly, Parthiv has his roots in Bengal, and Parthiv is a Liverpool fan, so he as we said before, has defines the best of the Indian football podcast. And definitely, man, we would love to be associated with you more in the future. And it was great having you on board. Thank you for taking out the time. Sunday mornings sounds like a good time actually from now on. And honestly, thanks for being there. Hopefully, Liverpool can do well this season after this episode.
Yeah,
Yes,
with that
hopefully,
sweet.
and hopefully, I actually this is my dream to replace Michael Edwards one day after 10 years probably as a
Oh
Liverpool
man,
Yeah.
that's
CEO.
great, man. Absolutely. I
I'm studying sports
we have.
science, so hopefully that works out.
Oh wow. Yeah, I mean,
Oh,
absolutely. You
nice.
have a complete support and will consider us as your support systems in pursuing that. With that sweet note, I think it's time to say call it quits today in this episode. Please do follow us on Instagram where we are closing on 500 followers. Where, as I keep saying, because I am completely enthralled with it every week, Anukar sir keeps putting up amazing real content. We are closing up on 1,200 tweets on our Twitter page, Indie
Mhm.
Football Podcast on Instagram as well. So if you want to be on our show, please reach out to us. We have got certain exciting offers. And yeah, if you want certain topics to be discussed, please reach out to us. Maybe write in the comment section on our Instagram, Twitter posts. We are also on YouTube now. We might shortly release ourselves on LinkedIn as well. So yes, there are exciting things keeping ahead of us. Till then, goodbye. Thank you. Good night. I Okay. It's not night here, but yeah. Bye. Bye.